My peoples, my peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all know what we doing, man. We talking boxing. First of all, let me kick this thing off by saying Merry Christmas to everybody. And I hope that you guys have great wealth. I'm wishing you all good wealth, happiness. Everything else, we're going to hustle it. Everything else, if it's material, we could get that. Don't worry about that. We're going to handle that. But if you got your health and you good, that's what we need. Salute to everybody tuning in this Christmas morning. Side in the building. Toy Mafia in the building, my peoples. Interesting episode of Boxing for Breakfast today, man. In this Christmas morning. And I want to talk to you guys about something that I've noticed. And I find it so strange. It's like, damn, there's got to be something behind it. It's got to be more to it. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean. The high-profile figures who are giving flowers to Jake Paul. I think it's weird. Weird to see it, my peoples. Like, wait a minute. Oscar De La Hoya, Eddie Hearn, Max Kellerman, all giving props to Jake Paul. And I'm like, damn. It almost seems like there's something behind that. It just doesn't make sense. And I'm going to tell you why. Think about this. I'll start off with Oscar De La Hoya. My people's Oscar De La Hoya been bashing Crawford because he says Terrence Crawford only got 2 names in his resume. And you're going to be praising Jake Paul for getting knocked out in the 6th round? Praising him for that? Then you got Eddie Hearn, who once upon a time said you're never going to be, up there like that. It's never going to happen for you. And now Eddie Hearn is saying, I see him as a decent cruiserweight. That's a decent cruiserweight? Based on what? What exactly did Jake Paul do in that fight with Anthony Joshua that would make Eddie Hearn feel like he would be a good cruiserweight? I don't understand it. I'm like, Eddie Hearn knows his shit. He knows his boxing. He told Jake Paul to his face, you're not that. But suddenly now he feels like Jake Paul could be a cruiserweight. And then I seen Max Kellerman too. Trust me, my guy, before moving on to Max Kellerman, side, I saw Eddie Hearn saying it myself. So it's not that I heard or anything like that. Victor J, Merry Christmas, my brother. I didn't hear it. I seen him in an interview where he says, you know what? He went into that fight, was thinking he was a bad heavyweight or couldn't be a heavyweight, but now I think he could be he's a good cruiserweight. Like, wow. I'm like, how the hell Eddie Hearn say that? So then I see Max Kellerman, somebody who y'all know is a boxing guru, talking about, yeah, because he lasted, versus a world champion, and he that's crazy to me. And and Mike Coppinger too, he was there with Max Kellerman talking about, yes, he fought and he did this, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Why all these high-profile people out there giving flowers to Jake Paul for getting pummeled? Because I gave you guys the breakdown of what happened in that fight, my peoples. Let's be honest. What happened in that fight is that Jake Paul survived the first 4 rounds by moving around, not engaging, and eventually when the legs were out, he got beat up. Round number 5, the moment he started getting touched, it was a wrap. It was a downhill until it was over. Come on, my people. Jump fire. Merry Christmas, my G. Bam. So I'm not understanding how Jake Paul went in there looking like a goofball, rolling around the floor, hugging his knees like a little kid, getting beat up like the stepchild of a cheating wife. And they out there praising him like that. That's crazy. Ryan, you love to see it. I mean, I'm going to be honest, a lot of people were celebrating that beatdown because Jake Paul is a troll. He does a lot of trolling. And he's very good with touching people's emotions and making them react. And that's why he's where he is today. He's very good. I would say Jake Paul is a professional troll. And now I'm going to tell you guys the opposite. I'm going to tell you guys the opposite. What Max Kellerman said, that he did good for, going against a heavyweight champion of the world. Eddie Hearn talking about he's a good cruiserweight. Oscar De La Hoya giving credit because he lasted all those rounds. I'm actually going the opposite way, my peoples. And I'm going to show you what I mean by completely the opposite way. That's not where I'm headed. In this Christmas special edition episode, that knockout that Jake Paul suffered, if anything, it should tell people not to get in the ring with world championship boxers if you're not on that type of level. Like, my man's got his jaw broken in 2 places. Surgery. Out of boxing for God knows how long. How long is the recovery process? Bro, you got sent to the hospital in a stretcher. What are we talking about? You know what this is? What this needs to be? A wake-up call for those other YouTubers, other people going into boxing, like Jake Paul, that decide to start taking this more serious. Cool, you could take it more serious and get good at it. But to think you're going to challenge a world champion, you're going to get hurt. And maybe the next guy who has the audacity to step in there with a world championship caliber fighter, maybe they get hurt worse. So, you got to cut the nonsense. Because I want to tell you, although there's a lot of money involved in this, a lot of people make money, but at the end of the day, sanctioning bodies should never sanction a fight between a world championship caliber fighter and a dude who's never even beaten anyone inside of the top 20. This is crazy. You got a world champion going to an 8-rounder. It's insane, my people. What happened is exactly what was supposed to happen, and they should learn from it. Don't take guys coming up and put them against world championship caliber fighters, because they could get hurt really bad. Really, really bad. Ryan, they both shit humans. Listen, it played out the way that it should have. The guy learning how to box versus the champion. This is what was supposed to happen. He got hurt. Look, this is not an exaggeration. Jake Paul got hurt badly. Badly. He was in the ring, all sticking his tongue out and smiling. Meanwhile, face looking like a swole up pumpkin. Ryan, it couldn't happen any other way. It could. I try to tell everybody. This was going to be the result. So if you take a guy who hasn't had championship level experience or hasn't been moved up gradually in competition to get to that level, and you just jump them up like that, that's what you're gonna get right there. This is what you're gonna get. Y'all gonna be seeing YouTubers getting sent to the hospitals left and right. Simple as that. There you have it. Jay is in the house. Jay Smith, I'm here. Let's go. Merry Christmas, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. You know what we doing. We talking this boxing. I'm not understanding why are people praising Jake Paul for getting knocked out badly and for getting hurt. You trying to encourage this man to get back in the ring, man. And with a cruiserweight champion next. I'm telling you, if Jake Paul gets an opportunity to climb the ring versus a cruiserweight champion, he will get pummeled. He will get knocked out, and it will be brutal once again. I told you guys this before. Jake Paul is not up to the kind of level to compete with these people. So they out there praising him. Oh my God, he went 6 rounds. He went 6 rounds. Listen, if you don't know shit about boxing, that's cool. I let you rock with the, yo, he went a whole 6 rounds. That's cool if you don't know shit about the sport. But anybody that understands what happened and what was, that watched, Jake Paul was running around. He did not engage. At no moment during those 4 rounds did he actually try to win the fight. He was on survival mode. And the thing is, Oscar De La Hoya knows this. Eddie Hearn knows this. And Max Kellerman knows this. They know why he didn't get knocked out in the first round. They know that. And they also know that it doesn't take a high level of skill to survive if you're not engaging. Think about it. Look at all the fights, all the knockouts that you could think of. You get knocked out engaging. Pop, 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 bam. The battle fighter lands that big bomb. You don't get knocked out by running, bro. Put it to you like this. Look at Tank Davis. One of the best knockout punches of this game. Look at most of his knockouts. Rolly's a counterpunch. Ryan Garcia, a counterpunch. Frank the Ghost Martin, a counterpunch. Leo Santa Cruz, a counterpunch. You knock people out during engagement. If your opponent is running all over the ring and clinging onto your legs for dear life, you're not going to knock them out. And it doesn't take a lot of skill to do that, my peoples. You could go into any random gym right now and pull out a guy who's been boxing for 5 years, and he'll be able to do that too for 4 or 5 rounds before getting knocked out. Jake Paul did absolutely nothing special in that fight to be praising. Why y'all cap it like that? And y'all know that. They know this. Max Kellerman know that he didn't see nothing special. There was nothing to give credit for. Eddie Hearn, he know he didn't see nothing special in the ring from Jake Paul. He saw a guy that survived for 4 rounds and they got knocked out. And the same thing with Oscar De La Hoya. Why you capping, Oscar? Talking about, yeah, man, he went 6 rounds. Come on, man. Listen, let me tell you guys the 2 different ways to put it. He went 6 rounds with a heavyweight champion of the world, or he survived 6 rounds with a heavyweight champion of the world. What he did is he survived. He did enough not to get knocked out right away. But when you say he went 6 rounds with a heavyweight champion, or you thinking they going at it, pop, 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 and he got stopped. No. He didn't go no 6 rounds. He survived 6 rounds. He was on survival mode from the first second. Think right away. The bell rang. Jake Paul was all over the place. So no, he didn't go no 6 rounds. Let's not exaggerate it. He survived that many rounds. Char. Joshua allowed him to go past the first round. It probably was in the contract to let him go the distance. Oh no, that's just a conspiracy. No such thing in the contract. What really happened, and AJ didn't let him go past the first. The reality is, you can't knock somebody who's not standing in front of you. You cannot knock somebody out who's not engaging you. That's why I mentioned that earlier. And I gave the example. Look at Tank Davis knockouts. Leo Santa Cruz, a counterpunch. Ryan Garcia, a counterpunch. Frank the Ghost Martin, a counterpunch. So you have to be in an engagement to be able to knock somebody out. If they're going to run, there's no way for you to do it unless AJ could take off his hand and fling it across the ring and knock him out with it. How do you knock somebody that's running out? You don't. You can't. Simple as that. What happened as soon as Jake Paul's legs ran out of juice in the 5th round? He started to get beat up and he got knocked out. That's what's supposed to happen. You was going to run. Cool. Once you got tired and you couldn't keep running, you got knocked out. It was simple. I know the conspiracies make it sound more interesting. The conspiracies make it sound more movie-like. But nah, no conspiracy. He just got beat up by a world-caliber fighter. Ryan, he could get a sex change and do women's boxing. Well, he's promoting in women's boxing, so he could be his own promoter. Side, all the arrow knockdowns were counterpunches. All of them. But that's what I'm trying to show you. You have to be engaging to knock somebody out or for them to knock you out. You don't see people running around and get knocked out while they're running. You can find some where they're moving and boom, get hit. But in most cases, that doesn't happen. The real King George. AJ walked Jake Paul like a dog around the ring. See what I'm saying? Basically, and these are the things that people don't see in boxing. And a lot of people don't understand it. You see those first 4 rounds where Jake Paul didn't get hit much? What people don't understand, and Jake Paul said it himself, what got to him was the constant pressure. Constant. So, yes, he was able to stay away from those big punches, but he was in constant footwork because AJ kept chasing him. So I'm not hitting you yet, but I'm chasing. And you running the whole 4 rounds. What happened in round number 5? You couldn't keep running anymore. You got tired. Now, when you got tired and your legs wasn't under you, your eyes look like a deer in a headlight. Where now we was gonna exchange. And you saw what happened. So this guy survives. He didn't go the distance with AJ. I mean, he didn't go 6 rounds. He survived 4 rounds by running as much as he could. And when the legs ran out of juice, he got cooked. Got cooked, my peoples. And by the way, yo, this is a Christmas edition episode. Who giving y'all boxing on Christmas morning, man? Y'all better hit that like button. Y'all better stop that ghost watching because it's Christmas. And if y'all gonna be ghost watching, I'm gonna be getting the hell out of here. I'm gonna be like, yo, my people's peace. Yo, y'all hating on me this morning. Bang, and I'm gonna disappear. But I digress. I still don't understand why am I seeing Max Kellerman, a guy who, this guy's a boxing guru. Max Kellerman is a dude who knows his boxing. I've been following him, watching for a very long time. Eddie Hearn, one of the most important promoters in the game, has been for quite some time at this point. And then Oscar De La Hoya, the golden boy, an Olympic gold medalist, multi-division champion, so on and so forth. And y'all giving Jake Paul flowers for lasting 6 rounds with AJ? Son ain't adding up. these high-profile people giving flowers to Jake Paul for getting beat up, knocked out brutally because he was able to run for 4 rounds. That just don't make sense to me, my people. Jay Smith, Spencer never fight again. Ferrari crash took his sight. But great, Spence ain't the same. Nah, man, if you concerned about what the Ferrari did, forget about that. You need to be concerned about what Crawford did to him. Because after the Ferrari, he beat 2 world champions. But after Crawford, you ain't never seen him again. Forget the Ferrari. It's what Crawford did to him, bro. That's what you need to be worried about. He beat a world champion after the Ferrari. That ain't worry me. Victor J. I think the time has passed. Max by some. I don't know, man. I don't know what's up, because Max Kellerman, man, I got mad respect for him. Just because I follow him for such a long time, and I've seen the opinions that he has formulated has been some real good ones. He's made some real good arguments as far as Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, who's the greatest, why. Like, I've seen Max Kellerman, put together some elite, top-notch talking points. I just can't believe that I watched him giving flowers to Jake Paul for lasting 6 rounds. I know for a fact, he understands why Jake Paul lasted 6 rounds. And ain't nothing to give no flowers about. He didn't last 6 rounds because of skills. He lasted 6 rounds because he ran around for 4 and then got beat up. See how he started getting beat up in the 5th round and then stopped in the 6th? If he would have really went out to fight, he would have got beat up in the 1st round and stopped in the 2nd. Or maybe even stopped in the 1st. Simple as that, my people. Max Kellerman, Oscar De La Hoya, Eddie Hearn, and everyone else in boxing know that. They know I'm not lying. The real King George. You don't run from your fear. You face it. I mean, Jake Paul faced it in the 6th round for sure. He definitely faced it. My peoples, I want to give a shout out to everybody tuning in. And I want to say Merry Christmas. Another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, because we're going to be talking about this situation, man. If you want to give Jake Paul his flowers, I respect it. I respect it. But I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. How could I? I watched the fight. Did you watch the fight? I watched it. I watched a Jake Paul that never attempted to win, that never attempted to engage in any meaningful way, that only used the movement, 1 jab, or maybe 2, the more movement, head down in the right hand and back, and more running, and maybe 1 and 2 with the head down and more running. What did I see for me to be giving flowers to? Jake Paul literally looked like a goofball out there, rolling around the floor, holding onto the knees. A goofball, even awkward punches that he got to throw at times. And you got an Olympic gold medalist in Oscar De La Hoya, one of the best trainers in the game in Eddie Hearn, and then you have a guy who we all know is a boxing guru in Max Kellerman, and they giving Jake Paul flowers. Nah, that shit's not adding up to me. So that ain't right. Are they getting a check or something? Goddamn, did Jake Paul send everybody a check? Yo, go praise me on your show. Here's this little check right quick. I mean, I'm trying to figure it out. Victor J, should Jake Paul call up the goofiest of the oofiest? He should call it. Listen, but I'm going to say this. On last week's episode of the goofiest of the oofiest, Jake Paul got beat by Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate was last week's goofiest of the oofiest. Why? Because Come on, man. Andrew Tate had us thinking Mr. Three-time kickboxing champion, world kickboxing champion. And they got beat up by a guy named Chase Demore. Come on, man. And then Andrew Tate had me feeling like a goofball because I'm telling people, yo, Andrew Tate, world champion, he gonna beat that dude up, man. He gonna kill him. And then he go out there get pummeled, looking like he can't punch his way out of a wet paper bag. Goofball. Back, Jake Paul just had a bad camp. His cardio failed him against a fighter 50 pounds heavier. So here's the problem, Bab, that Jake Paul had. If you watch Jake Paul fight before, right? He's not a guy that's going to beat his opponents with footwork. He never has. He's a guy who's going to stand there and, you know, try to move his head, block, and trade with him and land some big punches versus the always smaller and older guys. That's his thing. That's his thing right there. What he's going to do. So just think about that. Think about it, Bab. With your little bit of experience that you have, you're going to learn how to use footwork, this new skill, and you're going to deploy it for the first time against a two-time heavyweight champion of the world. You're bound to get your ass kicked, and that's a horrible plan. There is no good plan for Jake Paul versus AJ. You see, the plan was, I guess, I'm going to use the footwork. But, bro, let's be serious here. A world championship caliber fighter in an 8-rounder is never going to run out of gas. He don't even got to save nothing for the championship rounds. An 8-rounder, you are going to use your footwork to tire out a two-time heavyweight champion of the world in an 8-rounder. Your ass is not going to be able to run for 8 rounds. You doomed. Bro, Jake Paul went into that fight being doomed. That's why I predicted a devastating knockout. Anybody who tuned in to those episodes of Boxing for Breakfast leading up to the fight knows that I told you guys it's going to be a devastating blow by Anthony Joshua. That's what was supposed to happen. In fact, my peoples, when this fight was announced, you know what's the first thing that crossed my mind? I cannot believe that they decided to sanction a world championship caliber fighter, two-time heavyweight champion of the world, versus Jake Paul. I know it's an 8-rounder. I know they put the 10-inch gloves. I know they got the little bit bigger ring. But how'd they even get that shit sanctioned, bro? GHB TV, Greg Hackett in the building. Salute, my G. Bam. You know what it is, man. We talking boxing. Yo, Greg, please tell me what you think about that. Max Kellerman goes on his show, gives flowers to Jake Paul. This guy's a boxing guru. He know his shit. Eddie Hearn is in an interview, and he give flowers to Jake Paul. He says, well, I think he's a good cruiserweight. Based on what? What did Eddie see to suggest that Jake Paul is a good cruiserweight? What exactly could he have seen to make him suggest that from this fight? And then the same thing with Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya got on TV on an interview. Yo, no, what Jake Paul did, win a whole 6 rounds. Why are all these high-profile people giving flowers to Jake Paul and acting like he put together a monster performance out there? Yo, that shit got me feeling like he sent everybody a check. That's how it got me feeling. Yo, Jake Paul sent everybody a check. Yo, please praise me. And now everybody's getting in front of a camera. Yo, what Jake Paul did, man, was different. He did it. Bro, I'm 5'5", and I weigh right now 140 pounds. 90 mils, I'm stepping in the ring with AJ. Stepping in the ring with AJ. Come on, man. Come on, my peoples. Greg Hackett, they seen the relationship with Netflix. Ooh. You see? Could be that. They could be like, hold on, Netflix got the cheat code right now. Netflix got the cheat code. My peoples, listen. Netflix is gonna take over, but it's also gonna open up the door for Amazon Prime for people to be more open to that. Why? What Netflix is showing us, and Jake Paul cracked that code, is that you could put together monster fights. They could make millions and millions of dollars, and they don't have to put it on pay-per-view. That's it. They don't have to charge us $90 for it no more. They don't have to charge us $80, $89, $79. They could put that shit on Netflix, and you just need your subscription. And if you're not subscribed to Netflix, guess what? You could just subscribe for 1 month, get the fight that you wanted to watch, and drop your subscription. A bunch of people subscribe to Netflix just to watch Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. And that's it. They're not going to keep paying subscriptions. So, with Netflix, Jake Paul found the cheat code. Eugene, that white boy got his ass whooped. Brutally. Joel Blackwell, somebody paying you $1 million to say something good about them. You want to say it. I mean, damn, I hope they start sending me those checks. Shit. Cherish Bird, he got his ass spanked. Beating of a lifetime. Beating of a lifetime. As soon as the legs ran out of juice, what happened? He got pummeled. That shit turned into a pummeling session. Was never competitive. Never looked like he was even attempting to win the fight. Was out there to survive. What y'all giving out flowers for, man? Stop playing. Long Dixon. The Great White Hope, man. Listen. That's insane. I would have never expected, Shaggy, my brother, salute. I would have never expected that I would see these boxing people giving flowers to Jake Paul for getting knocked out brutally. Come on, man. Truth. Live on Christmas Day, bro. Bam, salute, my G. You know it. Bro, enjoy your Christmas. What are you doing live? I'm talking boxing with y'all. I'm talking boxing now. I got something going on, too. Got something going on. But I'm talking about, I'm bringing you, this is my gift to you guys. Physical gift to your home, because if I send everybody gift, I'm going to go bankrupt. But this is my Christmas gift to you guys. I love the sweet science. I know you guys love it too. Bam, here you go. We talking boxing. Expose Zilla. Mission accomplished. Jake still has you talking about his granite chin on Christmas Day. Bro, he's a beast. So I wouldn't say granite chin because it's broken in 2 places. But, so there's 2 aspects of this. Because you're touching on something that's real, right? Jake Paul took some monster shots in that fight. That's real. The only thing is that you guys tuning in and myself, bro, we all know the only reason he went that many rounds is because he was on survival mode from the beginning. Survival mode, my people, doesn't take a lot of skills. You take a random guy out of a gym right now who's been training for 5 years, and they'll be able to do exactly what Jake Paul did. You put me in an 8-week training camp, and you put me in there with a world champion, I'll be able to do exactly what Jake Paul did before proceeding to get brutally knocked out. But I'll be able to use my footwork to stay away from damage for a little while. And I'll be able to get some clinches in. But eventually, when the body give in, and I can't keep running like that, I'm going to get brutally knocked out. Craig, Jake Paul is not a boxer. He's a podcaster. He needs to get back to that. Now, look, I'm going to tell you like this. And you guys know I always keep it 100. Jake Paul, if he's able to recover from that injury and cleared by doctors, you see them in the ring. And you're going to see them making, more big paydays, more big fights. However, this is my opinion. Jake Paul plans to keep boxing. Keep doing your type of fights. Keep fighting the MMA guy, the YouTuber, the basketball player, or somebody that practices a different sport. Keep doing that. You got your audience. You're going to make a lot of money. But stop trying to convince yourself that you can be the world champion or that you can compete at a world championship caliber level. Because you can't. At the cruiserweight division, he's going to get pummeled the same way. He's going to get brutalized the same way, my peoples. Let's keep it 100. Hopefully, this is an example to other low-level fighters who think they could challenge a champion. This should be an example. Because while there's people praising Jake Paul and, oh my God, he lasted 6 rounds, he did it. My people, that could be a life-changing injury. That could be a that could be an injury that his jaw might never go back the same. I'm assuming he's going to go back to boxing. But we don't really know that. He could be out of the ring forever with that injury. So let's see how Jake Paul is able to recover. How? Because he took a nasty, nasty shot in that fight. So what was supposed to happen is what did happen. Daniel on the ground, Jake Paul just got exposed in the worst way. Damn, that's not the way you wanted to get exposed, man. He would have been better off getting exposed versus Tank Davis. Took a bunch of punches, but went the distance maybe. Mako, the man made 90 mils. Okay, he made 90 mils. How does that change this? You think when you're sitting in the hospital, that 90 mils do anything for you when you're sitting there like that? You think that 90 mils do anything when you're going to have to take pain medication for the next 6 months? That's the problem. We live in this new generation that people just think it's a lot of money and a lot of money and a lot of money. What if Jake Paul end up punch drunk from fighting champions? What if he end up that he can't even talk right? You think that 90 mil, that 100 mil is going to matter? Shit ain't going to mean shit. He ain't going to enjoy it. Expose. Jake face is fine. He'll be back in no time. I call that denial. That's what that's called. Denial. Why would I say that's denial? Because at this point, it's a very good possibility that you've seen what Jake actually looked like. It's a possibility that you've seen his shit wired shut. It's a possibility that you've seen an image of Jake Paul's mouth where it shows that it's literally broken. So, and by the way, he did a video. He did a video talking. So right now his face is not like that. But he did a video talking with face all swole up. You think that was AI too? When he, after getting knocked out, looking into the camera going, look, you think that was fake too? My man's jawline is pushed in. His gum line is pushed in. Motherfucking teeth. Everything is shoved into his tongue, bro. Jaw broken in 2 places. You listen, I got hit one time in my jaw. Short little uppercut got me, bang. And it wasn't even fractured. I didn't fracture my jaw or anything. And I was in pain for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks when I was eating food. Oh, shit. You imagine the jaw broken in 2 places. That shit broken at the point of impact and right here. Jay hit him so hard. AJ hit him so hard that shit broke right there, right here. At the point of impact, and right here, snapped it in 2 places. That's some serious damage, bro. The real King George, he has 2 titanium in his mouth. He has of course. What you think happens when they open you up and put titanium and all? Like, you think your face stay normal? Should be looking like a Halloween pumpkin. MAW, Jake Paul had no business being in there versus a former 2-time unified heavyweight champion AJ. But I'll give him props for stepping up in the fight that he was destined to lose. He got his jaw demolished. For sure. Good luck to him. Good luck in that recovery process. This fight was so unreal. People said they didn't believe it was going to happen until they was in the ring. I think MAW, you didn't think it was going to happen. I think you told me that. And it did happen. But it played out exactly the way that it was supposed to. With Jake Paul getting pummeled. So y'all really praising him? Look at it. You praising him for going out there, surviving 6 rounds, and then getting brutalized. Come on now. Lords, we real. Happy holidays, big bro. Baltimore, much respect and blessings. Salute, family. Appreciate you dropping in. And Merry Christmas to everybody tuning in, man. This is my gift to you guys. Boxing in the morning, baby. Yeah. The Great Midwest. I don't know why Jake took this fight, but had 80 million good reasons. Look, all money is not good money. Remember that. Boxing is not a game. It's a tough sport. It could be a deadly sport. This year alone, we've seen how many boxers dying in the ring. Jake Paul putting himself in a real bad situation when he faces an opponent and there's such a difference in skills. You putting yourself in danger. Just do boxing. Salute, my brother. If anything, the type of damage that Jake Paul took should be an example that sanctioning bodies should not sanction fights between a world championship caliber fighter and a guy coming up who's never beat anyone within the top 20. They have to set some type of precedence after seeing what just took place. It's not about Jake Paul lasting 6 rounds. He was not engaging in the first 4. That's just the reality. Lords, you up now, big bro. You a real one. Thanks. Baltimore, homie. You already know it, man. Talking this boxing with y'all in Christmas. Spino. Jake was on knees from the start. Come on. From the beginning of the fight, you saw Jake Paul running around. And people only see when they trade leather. But they don't see that AJ applied the constant pressure by going forward. And Jake Paul had to use that footwork consistently. And that's it. After the 4th round, he didn't have any more. That's it. The legs was done. Legs was absolutely cooked. Lords, you don't play boxing. You can get killed in the ring. But that's what I'm talking about. How you get a fight like this even sanctioned? This, a guy who's been in the biggest stage ever. In the biggest stages. Heavyweight championship of the world. And you allow Jake Paul to make that fight? Come on, that's crazy. That's crazy. I know it generates a lot of money. And people find a way to make it happen to get that money. But yo, what happens when one of these YouTubers catch a real boxer and get killed out there? Is that what it's gonna take for them to say, yo, wait a minute, we can't be doing these fights? Like, if we're being honest, my peoples, Jake Paul had no business being in the ring with AJ. No business. He was out there to get knocked out. And that's all there was to it. If you tell me that Jake Paul went in there and competed and eventually got stopped, then I'll say he did his best. But he literally stepped in that ring to survive as much as possible. Clarence McLean, salute my brother. Bam! Jake Paul stepped in that ring, and you guys remember from the very first bell, he went on the run. That's just the reality. Joel Blackwell, nobody cares when you got money. I mean, that's the thing. Money makes things happen. But when you got money and you could do whatever you want, sometimes you do things that are going to end up hurting you. Money, 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 money. It's all about the money. That's a fact. That is a fact. But greed is a thing. And greed is problematic. When you just want more and more and more, and you want to be the one that has the most, and you want to be the one that gets the most, my peoples, Jake Paul could end up with a type of injury in a fight that he's not going to enjoy none of that money. All that money that he's trying to collect, he's not going to enjoy it. One of these boxers going to break his neck or something like that. He's going to be cooked. Gonna be cooked, my people. Expose. Come on, Jay Smith. Do you want him to slug it out with a way bigger fighter? He fought the right game plan. Expose. If you're saying he fought the right game plan, then you're basically saying that he went there to lose. Who goes into a fight to lose? There's no fight to be made then. Or unless you're saying, yeah, you just lose in a different way. But how can you fight the right game plan, not win a single round, and not do absolutely nothing that suggests you're trying to win? That's not the right game plan. Look, let me tell you something, Expose. That's only the right game plan if you're trying to survive as much as possible. That's the right game plan. If you're there to survive and you're not going to try to win, that's the right game plan. But cut this shit out about let's give you flowers because you went 6 rounds with a champion. You survived. You went to survive. So while everybody's saying why AJ couldn't knock him out in the first round, well, it's hard to knock somebody out from across the ring. Expose. He was winning on the cards. Hit and not get hit. I don't know who told you. They lied to you, bro. He was not winning on the cards. I can show you. Who lied to you, bro? Somebody lied to you. Watch, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. And you guys can Google it too. AJ versus Jake Paul scorecards. So what happened is, family, that you probably don't realize that you're talking to Jay Smith. There's a reason why they call me the human algorithm and Jay Stradamus. I just go with facts. I don't make stuff up out of thin air. Bro, Anthony Joshua won every single round. Jake Paul didn't win a single round. So please don't make stuff up out of thin air just to try to seem like you're making a valid point. Jake Paul was being completely outclassed from the first bell up until he got stopped. And you're going to tell me that he was winning on the cards? Like, come on, man. Don't get fact-checked and look goofy out here now. It's Christmas, my G. He was winning on the cards. Expose. It's Christmas, bro. Don't do that. Who lied to you about he was winning on the cards? Who lied to you? Somebody lied to you. He didn't win a single round on a single card. Expose. If he trained an altitude, he would have still got beat up. He don't got the skills to compete. He don't got the skills to compete. He would have got beat up the same way, no matter where he trains. Major Lazar saying his legs just failed him is hilarious. It's only a couple of rounds before he got tired. The thing is, no, his legs failed him. His legs failed him. You know why? Because he spent 4 rounds running. That's not his fight. If we look at Jake Paul's fights, he's never fought guys as the boxer that's moving around. He's never done that in his career. And I told people this before, like, bro, you think you're just gonna adapt a new style and learn a new skill and deploy that shit for the first time against a heavyweight champion of the world? Your ass is cooked. And then Jake Paul, who's fighting at the highest division he ever fought, the heaviest he ever fought, 200 and something, and he's bouncing around and running, it was only a matter of time. By the time he got to the 4th round, his legs was absolute jelly. That's why when he was clinching, he was going on to his knees like a goofball. Legs was gone, yo, completely. If you notice, watch this. Jake Paul was like this in the beginning of the fight, right? All over the place. By the time they got to the end of round number 4, he was already fighting like this. The hell he was, the head down right hand. So by the time he got to the 5th and he could no longer bounce around all over the ring, what happened? He started to get pummeled in the 5th round and stopped in the 6th. Guess what? Had he started the fight from the beginning, trying to fight, he would have got stopped in the 1st, or he would have got stopped in the 2nd. Brutally, the same way. He lasted because he did not engage. You don't stop an opponent that's not engaging, my peoples. Let's just be for real. That's why I pointed out earlier, Tank Davis knockouts. Leo Santa Cruz, a counterpunch. Frank the Ghost Martin, a counterpunch. Ryan Garcia, a counterpunch. Why? Because they're engaging Tank Davis and boom, they get knocked out. How you gonna knock out a guy who's running from you? You're not. You can't. So all you can do is exactly what AJ did, and people don't see that. He kept applying that psychological and physical pressure by constantly chasing him around. So I'm not hitting you. You're not letting me catch up. But I'm after your ass. I'm on your ass. Chasing them the whole time for 4 rounds. There was never a moment where AJ just kind of let him rock and going forward. And you see Jake Paul with the lateral movement, going to the left, going to the right. He was not going to be able to do that for a whole 8 rounds. Eventually, you're going to stop. And when you do, I'm going to beat your ass. That's exactly what happened. It played out the way that it was supposed to. And the funny thing is that I told people before the fight, Jake Paul can go even the distance. If he's going to use survival tactics, if he's not going to be out there to win, he could even go the distance. Because I'm like, yo, if he's going to be running around and you got an AJ who hasn't been in the ring in over a year, 14 months. 14 months since AJ fought Daniel Dubois. So you got a rusty championship fighter and a guy that's going to be running. You're going to take some time to catch him. Eventually he will. Expose, Jake will be back. He would win a rematch with a full camp. Expose, you need a 24-hour timeout. I already see you coming with funny stuff. Come back tomorrow. And maybe we could deal with some more funny shit that you got to say. But my peoples, Brasco, get the fuck out. And you already see that he coming with the dummy stuff. Let's give him till tomorrow. And maybe he'll wise up. Noah Jimenez, Merry Christmas, bro. Salute, my brother. Merry Christmas to everybody tuning in. Special episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Salute my peoples. Nebraska Rock from the main streets of North Omaha, Nebraska, where the face of boxing is from. Shaggy all had a broken jaw, and Ali had a broken jaw and came back. Jake is fine and should do promotion. I bet. I mean, listen. There's different kinds of breaks. Right now, there's no way really for us to know if he will be able to come back or not. But Shaggy, I'm going to tell you one difference between Ali and Jake Paul. Back when Ali fought and he had his jaw broken, he had it wired, right? But back then, they didn't have the technology to put the plates in. In Jake Paul's case, he got the titanium plates and the wires. So, will he be able to fight with titanium plates? Will he be able to have them removed to fight? Will his jaw be good enough to fight? So, we don't know what the situation is going to be, but I've seen some already suggesting that that's the type of injury that Jake Paul may not be able to fight again. He may not be able to. The real King George, you can't fight with a fragile chin. It's risky. You see? Can they get it back to a condition where he can fight? We don't know. We just don't know. Kebab Osman, how you doing, G? Salute, family. We talking boxing, man. And listen, I wanna know you guys what you guys think about this, right? After the fight, we watch Jake Paul get pummeled and all of that. We watch him go through that brutal stoppage. A lot of people are giving him flowers. Max Kellerman goes on his show giving him flowers for going 6 rounds. Eddie Hearn all says that he's a good cruiserweight. I don't understand why would you say that. What did you see that made you feel like he's a good cruiserweight? Other than him getting knocked out brutally when he couldn't run anymore. And then Oscar De La Hoya does the same thing. You've been bashing Terrence Crawford saying that he only got 2 big wins. And then you praising this dude saying, oh, he went 6 rounds. You praising a guy who got knocked out brutally and going at Crawford. That's crazy. I don't get it. There's a lot of people out there that seem to be giving flowers to Jake Paul for that performance. Lucky Boxers Locks, 92 million buys the best doctors in the world. They had his jaw fixed in less than 12 hours. Bro, you're talking about they had his jaw fixed. Do you understand what the recovery process is about? That jaw is not fixed. The healing process, the recovery process is months. Months. For that jaw to be normal again, gonna be months. You think Jake Paul had turkey yesterday? You think he was eating turkey or anything like that? Lucky Boxers Lock. The real question is, who should Jake fight next as a bounce back before he rematches AJ? No, the real question is, what are you going to say when you come back from a 24-hour break? That's the real question. I sense it when people are going to start saying dumb shit. So I just give you that 24. The real King George. His ego is broken. Yo, his ego is broken badly and brutally. Once you see someone who's been talking all this shit, somebody who's been saying, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and then you just get pummeled. You never even have a single moment in that fight where it's like, oh my God, Jake Paul might get him. Jake Paul's getting him. You never even had a little highlight moment. You landed like 1 punch at a time with your head looking down a couple of times. That's all you was able to do. You look like a goofball out there. Frank Rice, he had a turkey smoothie and stuffing. Damn, bro. Eating out of a straw. Brascarol, Jake is damaged goods. Who are these goofballs? You know there's always going to be some goofball that's going to be on the side of Jake. Because Jake, that's the one thing about him. He has a fan base. A big fan base. and they won't show up to the chat. Jake Paul did his thing. Bunch of goofballs. Go straight for a 24-hour break. Frank, Jake Paul is the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, I think, honestly, that knockout is something that he gave to the people that the people was happy about. That was a Christmas present. I saw a lot of people celebrating. You know, when they saw the image of his jawline, gum line, teeth line shoved into his tongue. When they saw that, it was like, damn, that felt like a gift to a lot of people. Tom Seaver, I respect Jake for the undercard exposure he's given to boxers. That's the one thing, man, I've given him credit for. Him being able to become a major player in women's boxing. MVP, his promotional company, is the front runner. They're the biggest player in reality. Not a major, they're the biggest player in women's boxing. They have more world champions than Golden Boy, more than Matchroom, more than Top Rank. So Jake Paul got a legitimate promotional company in MVP that has a deep roster. Killing it in women's boxing. The only thing is that he put his career ahead of theirs, ahead of world champions. So he could do his goofballery, but he's going to make a shitload of money. Come on now. Tom Seaver, Mets fan. Black like Wesley. Frank, Jake dropped everybody else with that right hand. I mean, he's the... Look, I wouldn't say he dropped him with that right hand because the way that he landed it, it didn't land as good as it looked. It didn't land as good as it looked. You know why? Because it landed at the way end of it. It was a little bit looping, and it was way at the end of it where he barely reached him and caught him. But by the time he caught him, it was more of an arm punch. Like, he didn't have his weight on it like that. And he fought. I'm telling you, my people, as somebody who's been in the ring myself, Jake Paul fought like somebody who was scared. He fought like somebody who was really scared and really doing everything he could to just not get hit. Some of the punches he was throwing, it's not that he was throwing punches to try to score points. I recognize defensive punches. I recognize when somebody's throwing a punch because they think they're about to get hit, so they go like that first. I recognize that. Jake Paul was scared to death in that ring. Gabriel, boxing rig. No way it took AJ 6 rounds for Jake and 2 for France. That's a bad comparison, Gabriel. Francis Ngannou stood in the ring, stood in the middle to trade with AJ and got knocked out. Jake Paul literally ran around for 4 rounds. If Francis Ngannou would have did that, he would have lasted 6 rounds too. Danny on the ground. I don't even think Jake would have could progress. Maybe with a real trainer. Nah, Jake Paul, he's reached his peak as far as abilities go. But I just ask you, right, Gabriel? How could you even look at this guy's... Look. That's his... What you're looking at right there is his jawline, his gum line, and his teeth line. All that shit is shoved into his jaw. Yo, if you think that's fake, my guy, I don't even know what to tell you. This man, whole shit is shoved in. That just means, my guy, when you see that injury and you say it's fake, it just means that you wanted it to be fake the whole time. So to you, it's going to be fake no matter what. This guy got jaw wide shut, drinking through a straw. Shit, my guy, you're going to think it's fake no matter what. MAW, off the bat, gang. Subscribe, share, and smash that like button. Appreciate it, my brother. My peoples, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And, of course, make sure you subscribe to Box Center 2.0. Goofiest of the oofiest goes down on Mondays, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, only on Box Center 2.0. And, by the way, my peoples, The videos that drop on that channel are only on there, exclusive. So you won't see it on Facebook, on Instagram. You won't see it here. Only on Back Center 2.0, my people. Subscribe. Tom Seaver. It was Logan. He held up. Yo, Logan Paul, I want to say he's a goofball, but he's just as good of a businessman as his brother. That's the thing. They're very good businessmen. You got to respect that from both of them. Now Logan Paul trying to get a fight with AJ, talking about let's fight in the ring with no script. And man, shut the hell up, man. Craig, maybe if he has a younger and have more experience in the ring, but now I don't think that he can improve much more to make a run at a championship fight. Of course not, bro. That's it. Jake Paul's cooked. He's cooked. He's reached the peak of his abilities already. That's it. You're not going to see nothing more than what we've already seen. You don't go from, being a YouTuber and being on the Mickey Mouse Club and all of that other stuff to being a world championship caliber boxer. You started boxing way, way too late. And let me tell you something, because there's people who started late, but y'all don't be understanding something. Everybody who you can find who started late was an athlete. So if you take somebody who played basketball, who played professional football, who played a skill sport where you need strength and skill and agility, and then they turn to a boxer in their 20s, they got a chance to become something because they already have the athleticism. You need to teach them how to box, but they have athleticism and talent. That's stuff that you don't teach. Jake Paul never threw a punch in his whole life. He never been a strong guy in his whole life. So in his 20s, at 20, 22, whatever it was, he decided, you know what, I want to box. He did a couple of YouTube fights. He enjoyed it. I'm going to take this for real. And started doing it. And you never been athletic, never been an athlete. No, you're not that. You're done. Not happening. If you look at Bernard Hopkins and other guys who started late, look at their background and see. They was all athletes. They was all athletic. You don't come from the Mickey Mouse Club to be the world champion. It just doesn't happen. Look at Jake Paul before he was a boxer. He wasn't a strong guy. He wasn't a fit guy. He wasn't a guy that was in the gym. Daniel Negron, man, Logan is the worst that his brother as a boxer. Oh, no, Logan can't box his way out of a wet paper bag. That's why he tried to tell AJ, let's do it in wrestling. But you sound dumb. That's why I say, good businessman, but they say stuff that sounds dumb as hell. Because this heavyweight champion of the world who's making so much money in boxing, why would he go do wrestling with you, man? You're a goofball. Oh, you beat my brother up, now come wrestle me. You're a goofball. The real King George. Jake Paul went from robot at his first to 69 coming out. Frank, Bone Crusher Smith, Ken Norton, Hopkins, all started late, of course, but they was all athletes. They was all athletes before boxing. Either they was playing basketball, they was playing football, they was athletic dudes. That's why. I mentioned Bernard Hopkins earlier. Craig, yeah, man, you can tell he never played sport when he was younger. You gotta look at the pictures of Jake Paul. Image of him on his BMX bicycle. Pink BMX bicycle. Look at all the images. When he was a teenager. When he was in his early 20s. This kid whole body never seen a single muscle. Until he decided, yo, I want to box, fuck it. Brascarell with scissors in his hands. Come on, man. Can't punch himself out of a wet paper bag. You're not going to start boxing that late when you got no athletic, nothing background and have success. It's just not going to happen for you. You're going to be able to learn how to box. Jake Paul learned how to box. He knows how to box. But in boxing, like there in all sports, it's levels. You know what level Jake Paul is? Level 2. Level 2 is when you get to the gym. Level 1 is when you get to the gym and they teach you the jab, the right hand, the step back, step forward. When they teach you the basics, that's level 1. Level 2 is when you already know how to do all of the basics. That's it. You know how, everything that's basic, you know how to do it. That's where Jake Paul is at. He knows how to do all of the basic, and he knows how to do them pretty good. He could beat a boxer with a record of 2 wins and 5 losses. Jake Paul's beating them. Those guys with records like that, Jake Paul beating those guys. That's what puts him at level 2. But anybody that's above that level 2 is going to beat him up. Going to beat him up in the ring. He don't got a chance. If he fights a world champion at cruiserweight, it's going to be the same thing. He's going to get demolished. Remember I told you that. Demolished. Frank, you from Philly? Nah, my G. DR. James, Merry Christmas. Floyd should have knocked out Logan too. And Logan was mad disrespectful to Tyson after that fight with Jake. Man, listen, Logan Paul, he's just like Jake Paul. He's a guy who he's at level 1 in boxing. He's horrible. Horrible. But he's calling out AJ to do a wrestling match. It's like, come on, what are we doing, my people? What are we really doing? But you know, that's where I'm at. I'm trying to figure out why are so many high-profile people giving credit to Jake Paul. Like, they don't know what we watched. They don't know the type of beatdown that was. Stop playing with me, my people. Now, January 31st, y'all. January 31st. We've been talking about Jake Paul and all of that for over an hour. We're going to move on. We moving on from Jake Paul's goofballery. Damn, my peoples. Over an hour. And I ain't even got 30 likes. Why y'all got to do me like this, man? I'm cooking this sweet science for y'all. Early in the morning, too. January 31st. Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. Ooh, that's a good fight. That's a heck of a fight. Who y'all got, my peoples? I'm going to tell you right now. I'm making my Jay Stradamus prediction on Box Center 2.0. Make sure you subscribe. Comedy villain. Stop acting like it's real. It's a passion play for idiots. Stop acting like you're not a dummy. Everybody here knows you a dummy. Mr. Phipps, I got Shakur. This fight, you know that it's real good and real competitive when every day I see people saying I got Shakur, and I see people saying Shakur gonna make it look easy, and I see people saying I got Teo. Some people saying Teo's gonna knock him out. There's people on both sides of this argument. Alpha, Shakur gonna run the whole fight. I got a feeling you said that about the Zepeda fight, and you saw how that played out. You see, it backfired on William Zepeda, that same narrative, because he went on a couple of interviews and was like, I know his fight. I know what he's going to do. We're prepared to cut the ring off. We're prepared to apply pressure the whole night. And we're going to catch him. We're going to catch him. So Zepeda's out there convinced, like, I'm going to catch him. I'm going to catch him. And then he went in there and got his ass whooped. Thought the fight was going to take place in a football field. Got his ass whooped inside of a phone booth. So the whole notion that Shakur is going to run the whole fight, don't bank on that. You see what he did to Zepeda in his very last fight. James Hurtado, 50-50 fight. If Teo had that beat Loma shows up, it will be, if the Teo that beat Loma shows up, it'll be real interesting. Let's see, man, because I think that And I said it before, this is going to be a fight like Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Two all-time greats. These are two future all-time greats right here. And just take a look at where these guys are at in their career. Both of them in their 20s, in their late 20s. Neither one of them is 30 years old yet. Two multi-division champions, unified champions. You know, accomplished young fighters in their prime facing each other. This is what boxing is about. This is what boxing is about right here. And I'm going to put you on, my peoples. I'm going to put you on. There's a group of fighters who are going to be fighting for that spot. What spot am I talking about? The face of boxing. You think about it. Terrence Crawford is out. The face of boxing is going to be defined soon. We're going to see a few guys that are there together with each other, going back and forth, trying to get to that spot. But I'm telling you, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Jerome, David Benavidez, potentially Virgil Ortiz. That group of fighters are going to be trying to become the face of boxing. And some of them are a little bit further ahead than others. Like, to give you an example, Virgil Ortiz, he got to make a crazy run because he hasn't won a title yet. He's not even a world champion, right? He got to make a crazy run to make a claim, any type of claim. From here on out, those names that I mentioned for you guys, the ones that are getting the bigger wins are going to climb up the rankings, get to the #1 spot, pound for pound in the world, and they'll become the face of boxing. Like I said, Jerome Bruce Ennis, David Benavidez, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, and I mentioned somebody else. Somebody else I mentioned. Those are the guys that are going to be in line to become the face of boxing. Is going to be one of those guys. If you take that into consideration, guess what? Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, they're going to fight each other. They're going to be the next fight. Out of all these guys, there you go, Virgil Ortiz is one of them too, but Virgil is a little bit behind because he's not accomplished yet. So when you look at these guys who both are in the running to claim that spot, they're going to be fighting each other. Yeah, Devin Haney, for sure. There you go. They're going to be fighting each other. And whoever wins out of them two is going to be a bigger win than the one that Devin got over Brian Norman Jr. That's a big win. Don't get it twisted. Big win for Devin Haney. Moved up, beat the guy. But Shakur Stevenson moving up and beating Teofimo Lopez would be a bigger win. And Teofimo Lopez beating Shakur Stevenson would be a bigger win than Brian Norman Jr. So we have to take into consideration that on January 31st, we might end up with the person who's the front runner to become the next face of boxing. Now, the pressure's going to be on the other guys to get big wins too. Because the winner of this fight, they're going to separate themselves. But Benavidez might fight Arthur Beterbiev. That's a big fight. And by the way, my peoples, I didn't mention Tank Davis. But he's always going to be in the loop because you guys know that he's one of the biggest stars in boxing. So the moment Tank Davis fight one of these big names and wins, he's in the conversation if he doesn't become the guy right away. So I missed Tank Davis as well when I mentioned those names. Mark, actually, I think Devin Haney lost juice to Ryan. So here's the deal, right? When Devin Haney got beat up by Ryan Garcia, his stocks did go down. His stocks tumbled, to be honest. But shit went right back up with his dominant performance of Brian Norman Jr. Pure domination, pure destruction. He redeemed himself. That's it. Plus, we know the fight with Ryan Garcia and what he tested positive for and all that good stuff. So, you know, how much can we really use it against him? So I know it affected him, for sure. But ultimately, we saw a Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. that people just didn't expect. People didn't remember. People forgot who Devin Haney is. And he reminded everybody. He let people know I'm still that dude. Clinton. So people don't want to talk about Loma being injured. Tio will get schooled. Let's see. Let's see how this fight plays out. Because these two styles will mix up perfectly. You got the boxer. You got the puncher. You got the fighter who we know is going to apply pressure. You got the fighter who we know is a great counterpuncher. How is it going to play out? Which style is going to succeed? Big Billo, 9-3 or 8-4. Tio Lopez got the juice. So Big Billo, 9-3 or 8-4, in whose favor? Who you giving it to? Marco says Tio Lopez got the juice. Listen, man. This is going to be a real good fight. I'm super excited about it. Super excited about it. The real King George. We need to praise for fathers of boxing, the legends who made boxing. Whoa. Whoa, my brother. Listen. There's a lot of fighters who boxing is what it is because of them. No doubt. So you know what? In this Christmas, let's say salute to one of the greatest of all time, who's no longer with us. Rest in peace, Muhammad Ali. Rest in peace to all them fighters that's no longer with us and to the ones that's here, that made the sport the greatest sport that there is and that there ever will be. Boxing. It's never going to be nothing greater than boxing. And I'm going to tell you guys what makes boxing the greatest sport ever. Mark, Loma too old to stay from Lopez all night. I don't agree with you on that one, my brother. Because in that fight, Loma didn't run out of energy. He didn't tire out. His punch output wasn't lower than the usual. What happened with Loma in that fight, and I watched it too, is that he gave Teofimo too much respect in the first 6 rounds. Those first 6 rounds, because Teofimo was going hard to the body with that right hand and caught him with some good shots, because that's the thing too. I've been in the ring with somebody who called me with a good shot that made me punch shot, that made me, shy with the punch output. I know what that's like. And Loma ate some pretty good shots early on, so he was hesitant. But by the time they got to the 7th round, that he knows he's way behind on the card, he started to pick up the pace and started to win rounds, but it was too late. He was already too far behind on the cards, and he lost round number 12. So Teofimo Lopez got off to an early start, a quick start, and Loma couldn't make up for it. So I wouldn't say that he was too old. I would say that he got clipped early, and he showed a lot of respect, and Teofimo was able to capitalize. The real King George. This young gun's coming will be great one day. Listen, Kermel Moulton is going to be a great fighter. Abdullah Mason, another great fighter, already a world champion. There's some young guns out there, man, that's going to look at Moses Itauma in the heavyweight division. Look at Turamoana. Yo, Ezra the Hand Cannon Taylor. Or is it the Cannon Taylor? I was super impressed with Ezra Taylor, bro. Super impressed. And by the way, one guy that I didn't mention earlier that we also got to give a lot of respect to, a force to be reckoned with, Sebastian Fundora. Sebastian Fundora, special fighter. Now, I want to point something out, my peoples. Somebody hit me up yesterday and said, Jay, when you mentioned the possible next face of boxing, you didn't mention Naoya Inoue. Why you hating on him? He felt like I'm hating because I don't see Naoya Inoue as a possible face of boxing. I'm going to explain to you guys why the monster will not be the face of boxing. It's very simple. And it's two main reasons. Number one, he fights in a very low division, right? A small division, a lower weight class, let me say, where people don't know most fighters. Most people cannot name the opponents that Naoya Inoue beat. Most people can't name the overwhelming majority of his opponents. That's number one. Number two, Naoya Inoue doesn't speak English. I don't know if he maybe knows a little bit. I don't know if he just decided not to learn it. As long as he's been around and been a professional fighter and fought in the US before, it looks like he just said, fuck English, I don't need it. I don't know. But you're not gonna become the face of the sport if you don't speak English. Because English is the universal language. You see, every country doesn't speak English. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, though, is that in every country they teach English and there's people that speak English. You can travel anywhere in the world, you're going to find somebody that speaks English. You're not going to find somebody that speaks Japanese everywhere. Mr. Phipps, he can learn. Of course he can learn, my brother. But you think people are going to say, yo, become the face of boxing. Learn how to speak English and we're going to put you as the face of boxing. No, that's it. He's out the loop for that spot. Out of it. By the time he learned how to speak English, he's going to be retired. He's going to be retiring from boxing. Frank, Jake Paul is the face of boxing. Whoa, Frank, we're going to have to give you a quick 24 hours. Come back tomorrow with something better than that. You don't believe that. We don't believe that. Braskarov, Fundora reach is tragic. Bro, that reach advantage is insane, my guy. And you may recall, I'm going to refresh your recollection. You recall when Fundora used to be trading with guys all the time, and we used to say, bro, why this guy fight like he's small? Why he fight like he's a little dude? He don't use his reach advantage. We used to say that all the time. And after he got pummeled, when he lost that fight, he came back, and immediately we started to see that jab from Fundora. That whip-like jab. Pop, pop, pop. Jabbing the shit out of his opponents. And he a problem now. He a problem. Big Bello. Core going to give Tio that Sandor Martin, James Ortiz, Cambosa's work. Whoa, 9-3 or 8-4. Core, easy work. Damn, Shakur gonna just put the beats on him? Give me a hug. The Swiss, the Dre, and the Apple beats? I love you. Okay, I love you. Braskarov, something tells me Inoue is a test tube baby. Just kidding. Listen, Naoya Inoue, man, he a special fighter. But he's small. He's a small guy in a smaller division. He doesn't speak English. You know, to me, that's my opinion. No chance someone like him is going to become the face of the sport. Chief, Jake Paul won that fight. Open your eyes. Come back in 24 hours. 24-hour break for anybody that say Jake Paul won. 24-hour break for anybody that don't understand Jake Paul got pulverized. But tomorrow you could come back and say that shit again. I might give you another 24-hour break. Arnell, Merry Christmas, my brother. Salute. Bam. Salute to everybody tuning in. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, my peoples. This is a Christmas edition episode. Because I was like, you know what? There's no way I'm going to leave y'all to hang out to dry in this Christmas. We got to talk boxing, my peoples. We got to talk boxing. Craig, 48 sound better. Whoa. We're going to have to graduate from 24 to 48. Bam. Daniel on the ground, 24-hour break. If you come through with the goofballery, you know where you headed. The real King George. Jake Paul is the face of the YouTubers boxing. Hey, not the real one. He really found out the hard way. You see, he the face of YouTubers boxers. Found out. And I'm going to tell you something, my people said, this is the real deal, what I'm about to tell you. This should be an example to other people who think that they can compete against world champions. This right here, look. My peoples, you're looking at his jawline is indented, his gum line is pushed in, and his teeth line, all that shit is shoved into his tongue, my peoples. You know the type of crushing blow that he took for his joint to be shoved in like that? And people still saying it's scripted. You think somebody's going to script a fight so that they could end up with their whole shit pushed in like that? Come on, my peoples. Be for real, my people. James, I don't even know how long he's going to be out of boxing for with his shit pushed in like that. They reconstructed it already. Cool. But you know what the healing process is going to be for that? For Jake Paul to actually be back? Why you think his dome piece out there looking like a pumpkin? That's not no easy work, my peoples. It's a tough road ahead for Jake Paul. Everybody, 90 million. Yeah, he out there eating turkey through a straw. No real Christmas dinner. While you was eating your turkey, though, Jake Paul suffering, my people. It's a tough loss. And I still say, how the hell? I want you guys to tell me this. You guys answer this for me. And I'm asking you a legitimate question. This is a legit question, my peoples. So I'm asking everybody in the chat to please tell me your opinion. How exactly does a Jake Paul get a fight sanctioned versus a two-time heavyweight champion of the world? Jake Paul's never beaten anyone in the top 25 and never will beat anybody in the top 25. So how do you get that fight even sanctioned? What happened in that fight is exactly what was supposed to happen. Jake Paul got knocked out brutally. That's what was supposed to happen, my peoples. Come on, man. Let's keep it 100. Can't be delusional about it. Brasker Rugg, my brother. Super chat vibes from my brother Brasker Rugg, who been down with Jay Smith for a hot minute. Happy holidays from North Omaha, Nebraska. The mean streets of the face of boxing, Terrence Crawford. Salute, my brother. Appreciate the love. Bam. Craig, that's going to be a problem for a long time. My life is more than 90 mils. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Yo, Craig, you came through with the heat. You came through with the heat, and I'm going to tell you why. We're living in a social media era where everybody's, he's getting the most money. He got more money. He's putting butts in seats. He's getting more pay-per-views. God damn, baby, my life is worth more than any amount of money. Don't you understand that people get killed in boxing? When you put AJ versus a world championship caliber fighter, there's a possibility he might get knocked out in such brutal fashion that his whole life changed. Idols, it's a popularity contest, bro. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. But just Take this into consideration. If a guy doesn't have the skills to fight a world champion, should he be allowed to fight a world champion anyway? And let's just see what happens. He might get killed out there. He might get his jaw broken in 2 places and get left looking like a pumpkin and get sent to the hospital. About 90 million and he's going to put butts in seats. My man's almost got killed. Jake Paul almost got killed with that right hand. That's what people don't understand, my peoples. Joe Jackson in the building. Salute, my brother. Listen, my peoples. Subscribe to Box Center 2.0. Don't miss out on Goofiest of the Oofiest. It drops on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And all of the videos on Box Center 2.0, they only drop on that channel. They don't drop nowhere else, my people. So I'm going to show you the channel. It's up to you to subscribe. If you missing out, that's on you, my people. That's all I'm telling you. Look at it right there, y'all. Oh, shit. What the fuck is going on? Box Center 2.0, my peoples. Exclusive content from Jay Smith. There you go right there. Box Center 2.0. All the videos that are on this channel are exclusive to this channel. They don't drop on Instagram. They don't drop on Facebook or anywhere else. Not even on this channel. And Goofiest of the Oofiest only goes live on Box Center 2.0 as well, my peoples. I'm giving you this healthy dosage of sweet science. Whoa! Big Bello Mob with the super chat vibes. My brother, always appreciate the support. You already know what it is, man. Jake Paul is 1 and 2 versus professional boxers. Who was the professional boxer he beat? I was wrong. You fact checked me, my brother, because I said Jake Paul was 0 and 2. That's what I said before. I was like, he 0 and 2 versus professional boxers. Tommy Fury beat him. And now he got pulverized. So who's the professional boxer? Put me on. I can refresh my recollection because I remember he did fight a guy that obscure, not known guy, but he did beat a professional boxer. I do stuff. Netflix just care about the bag. They don't care about Jake. That's a fact. That's a fact. But, Mike Tyson doesn't count, bro. Mike Tyson doesn't count. Mike Tyson was nearly 60. Nearly 60 and retired. Mike Tyson doesn't count, bro. You can't give him that one. I thought he beat some guy there, some guy that we never heard of. But Mike Tyson, come on, bro. Damn near 60-year-old Mike Tyson. You can't give him that. Can't give him that fight, bro. And that was an exhibition, too. But I got to tell you, my peoples, Jake Paul losing the way that he did to Anthony Joshua, it should be an example for other YouTubers that think they could challenge a world championship caliber fighter. There's a lot of boxers out there that Jake Paul can beat. Trust me. There's boxers out there that Jake Paul can beat. But not world caliber type of fighters. Hell no. Big Bello. Trash ass Chavez Jr. There you go, Chavez Jr. But come on, man. Bro was already a full-blown cokehead. Like, he's been living pure goofballery for the last, 6 years. When's the last time that guy won a fight? Just joke. What the F? That's what you're looking at. Jake Paul mouthpiece. Jawline, gum line, teeth line, shoved in, my people. All in his mouthpiece. So, this should be a lesson here. If you're one of those guys coming up, if you're like KSI and all the other dudes that's trying to come up, that's trying to make money in boxing, make a name for themselves through the goofballery stuff, cool. Y'all carve your own lane, keep making your money. But don't think that y'all can challenge championship caliber type of fighters. You put a world champion in an 8-rounder versus a guy who don't even got experience like that. This is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get people hurt. Think about it. Jake Paul landed in the hospital with a nasty surgery. Nasty, nasty surgery, my people. You don't want to have your jaw wired shut, especially in Christmas. You know how nasty a turkey smoothie gotta taste? Come on, man. Come on, my peoples. Mark, boxing is the only sport you don't play. Ain't no playing. Big Bello, I agree. The real King George. Butterbean versus Jake Paul would have been good. You see, that's the type of fight that would have been good. Now, I think Butterbean would have knocked him out brutally. Like Butterbean in his prime, where he was like slinging haymakers, sleeps Jake Paul. Friendly Big T, that's right, a club fighter. Jake Paul is now a boxer who's gonna be able to even compete with those type of fighters that are at that level. That's why when I saw these guys giving him praise, I'm like, what are they praising him for? Are they sending him a check or something? Mr. Phipps, I think the Great from YouTube actually has a chance to develop into a really good contender. I agree with you. I saw him lose to the Vargas brother, but that fight, man, it was just so sloppy. It was a sloppy fight. But Dean the Great looked like he could get developed. But he started doing it young enough to where he's able to gain the right coordination, footwork coordination to be good. Mark Cole, I wish he could have seen Tank. Mr. Phipps, because of his age, man, he started at a reasonable age to be developed. But check this out, my peoples. And I said this earlier. How I feel. I just seen Max Kellerman praise Jake Paul for lasting 6 rounds. Then I seen Eddie Hearn say that Jake Paul could be a good cruiserweight, that he sees him as a good cruiserweight. And I also seen Oscar De La Hoya praising him for lasting 6 rounds. And I'm like, these people know boxing. These people know that Jake Paul survived those rounds because he was running around like a scared chicken. They know. So why are they trying to act like he accomplished something big in the ring? Made me feel like they all got a check. They all got a check. Pop, 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 here's your check. Yours, yours, yours. Say something good about him. Marco, bet Tank would have done him worse. Oh, Tank was going to beat him up. But you know why Tank was going to beat him up worse? Because he was actually going to try to fight Tank. He was going to go in there trying to fight him. So Tank was going to counterpunch the shit out of him and catch him with some nasty shots. Braskrug, man, what's going on with Max? He acting funny. You see? You see what I'm saying? Max Kellerman, Braskrug, a dude that we've been respecting him for years. Dude that always got real good opinions. And he's giving flower to Jake Paul for lasting the 6 rounds where he know why. I know he know why that happened. Made me feel like even Max got a check. Yo, here, boom. Say something positive about my boy. Wes Dustin, all those guys know promotion. Jake is a promoter. He can hire any of them later. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's the case. Maybe they're trying to keep a good relationship with Jake Paul. Maybe they want to keep the doors open with Netflix. I don't know what it is, man. I do stuff. Max's whole team was giving flowers. And I didn't get that. I saw Mike Coppinger too. Oh my God, people. He went the distance with a world champion. No, he went 6 rounds. That's the thing that made it seem fake. Like fake flowers. Like when you say, yo, he went 6 rounds. If you watch the fight and you hear, you like, damn, Jake Paul went 6 rounds. God damn. With a world champion? But if you watch the fight, man, we know why he went 6 rounds. He went 6 rounds because he was not trying to win. He was not trying to engage. Anybody with a little bit of experience can go 6 rounds with AJ. Like he did. I'm not saying fight him. You try to fight AJ, you're going to sleep in the first round. But if you're going to run, anybody with a little experience can do what he did. And then get knocked out later on, just like him. Friendly Big T, what about being hit by a 220-pounder in shape when you're a cruiserweight at best? I mean, what about anybody who gets hit is going to suffer from being hit? Like, you're saying, what about being hit? But what about being hit? We know what happened. We know you should not do that. Because when you say, what about being hit by a 240-pounder, it's like you feel he took it. He didn't take it, bro. He got knocked out brutally. Joe White shot taken out in a stretcher, recovery process for months. He did not take it. Or he did not take it very well. Think about it. The first thing Jake Paul said when they asked him who's next is that he'll never fight in that division again. He's going to go to cruiserweight and pursue a title down the line. You're going to get beat up the same way. The same way. Wes does it 6 rounds on a treadmill from an 8-week camp. Look, I'm going to say this. And this is something that I really want you guys to consider it. And if you consider it, you see that I'm not capping. You say, damn, that's a legit logic that you're giving us. I want you to think about this. Think about Jake Paul's fights before this one. Jake Paul's a guy who's standing there with his opponents, blocking, punching. Always with the smaller guy, with the older guy. And eventually, with some of them, boom, he caught him with the big right hand, knocked him out, right? Jake Paul has never won a fight with his footwork. He's never been the type of fighter that you're going to see him moving around. Never. Ever, ever. You won't find one example of that. So you're telling me a guy who's been training for 5-6 years with his style of I'm going to fight you and we're going to trade or whatever, go forward. That style, 5-6 years, and then in preparation for Anthony Joshua, a 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, he's going to learn a new skill. He's going to learn a new skill where now he uses footwork and uses jab and uses a lot of movement all the way around that big ring that they got. So he's going to stay mobile and make the big guy chase him and make the big guy get tired on him. My peoples, I need you to understand that footwork is something that you develop over years of boxing. It's something you develop over a bunch of amateur fights and a bunch of professional fights, and that gets developed more and more and more and more. You're gonna develop that in one training camp and deploy it for the first time against the best fighter you ever face, who's levels and levels and levels above you. I'm here to tell you, my peoples, that the whole footwork technique was bound to fucking fail. That shit was a failure from the beginning. That was going to help you survive a couple of rounds and get knocked out exactly like it did. Exactly like he got knocked out. Why he got knocked out? Because he couldn't do that for 8 rounds. Jake Paul did not have the ability to do that. Why? It's not just about cardio. Think about it, my peoples. Jake Paul is fighting at heavyweight for the first time in his life. He actually gaining weight and been the biggest and heaviest he's ever been. How is he gonna bounce around for 8 rounds? How? You bigger than you ever been. So what happens when the legs ran out of juice? After late in the 4th round, he started to get beat up. The 5th round, he got pummeled, and he got stopped. Only reason why this fight went 6 rounds is because Jake Paul went out there with survival tactics. He went out there to survive. Braskarov, Paul has no tools. No, he got tools. I'm going to tell you. He has survival tactic tools. What are they? That footwork allowed them to go 6 rounds. Because the first 4 rounds, AJ was chasing him. The clinching is also another tool that he used effectively. The going down into the floor, rolling around like a goofball. That's another tool. Why? Because it delays time. You see how many times he was delaying the action? I didn't mean to say delays time, delays the action. You see how many times grab him, going to his knees, rolling around, taking forever to get up. All of that is killing seconds on the clock. He used every technique that he could use to waste time and to not get knocked out. And eventually he ran out. 27, he went out there running from the very beginning. First bell rang, they came forward, and right away he went like that. Right away. So I know there's people that say no, because his plan was to tire AJ out. And once he tired AJ, that's when he was going to work him and beat him. Bro, you telling me that a guy who has the experience that AJ has, guy who's been a world champion multiple times, Jake Paul is going to tire him out in an 8-rounder. A guy who's been to the championship rounds, in an 8-rounder, you're going to tire him out by running around. So, come on, my people. That was like the technique that Jake Paul went in there with. It wasn't to win. He didn't go there to win the fight. He went there to survive as long as possible. And what Jake Paul was really trying to do, and I said it before the fight, he was trying to go the distance. If Jake Paul would have gone the distance, the whole Jake Paul fan base would have said that he won, that he got robbed. This is a monumental win for Jake Paul. Went the distance with a champion of the world and all of that stuff. But he couldn't go the distance. He wasn't going to bounce around on his feet for the whole 8 rounds. I do stuff. AJ didn't even break a sweat. That's a fact. He was just walking him down. I'm going to walk you down. That's why people don't understand. They say, look, AJ's missing from a mile away. Remember when AJ was walking forward that he would go like that with the jab from a little bit far? Oh, look. Nah, yo. AJ wasn't stressing. He was going slowly, walking him down, walking him down, walking him down. And you don't understand how tiring it is for a fighter to be like this the whole time. If you're not engaging, but you're constantly moving, that's a lot of energy too, my people. 27, that's called measuring, you see? But it's called measuring, but if you don't like AJ, or if you don't like the outcome, nah, look, he's throwing fake punches. Or he's missing from a mile away. Because you don't know shit about boxing. Braskarov, AJ made it look like play. Bro, this guy was just... AJ decided, if you're going to run, I'm not going to waste all my energy throwing mad punches at you while you're running. I'm going to walk you down, walk you down, walk you down. And eventually, guess what? You're going to run out of gas. I'll see you then. WA, My people's Jake Paul, goofball. Goofballery, that's what we got from Jake Paul, ladies and gentlemen. After he ate those shots, a left to the mouthpiece, a right to the mouthpiece, a right to the snack box. Took all those punches and he's smiling at the camera. Man, you out there getting beat up. You out there getting pummeled. Well, what are we really celebrating out here? Mr. Phipps, he's shaking off ring rust. Nothing more. I mean, it's a tune-up. We could say AJ got a tune-up. F it. Chalk it up to a tune-up. Craig, 90 mil sparring match. That's a good one. I already told you, my peoples, I'm 5'5", 140 pounds. I'll get in the ring with Jake Paul. I'll get in the ring with AJ for 90 million. Man, listen, I'll get in the ring with AJ for 9 million. Forget about 90. 9 million. I'm stepping in the ring with AJ tomorrow, whenever he wants it. Jay Santana, he caught him flush a few times, and AJ ate it. I mean, come on. No, but I want to say something about that, Jay Santana. Some of those punches that he caught flush didn't really have anything behind it. And I'm going to tell you why. Watch this. When you catch somebody with scared punches, they never land as good. And I'm going to show you why. Check this out. By the way, for those who don't know, I was an amateur boxer. I used to box. Got a little something. But watch this. If you really trying to hurt him, right? And let's say you're trying to hurt him with the right hand. If he's all the way over there, right? And you're trying to hurt him with the right hand. If you close the gap a little bit, and even that's why you see fighters do it with the 1-2 and with the little faint jab. Boom! What happens is that you're closing the gap so that you could put your weight behind that punch. Bang! And catch him just at the right point of impact where your hand is going the hardest. So you're like, boom! What happened with Jake Paul a few other times that he caught him flush? It was the scare punches that you're going like this because you don't want to get hit. So he caught Anthony Joshua with some of those punches that did land, but way at the end of the punch like this. If you look at his arm, it's already fully extended. So he's hitting him from so far that he doesn't really have his body weight behind it like that, like to really hurt him. All the punches that Jake Paul landed with his right hand was at a distance and an angle that he never, even when he caught him flush, he never had his body weight on it. He was throwing scare punches. He didn't land a punch like the one he landed on Tyron Woodley, where he put his whole weight behind that. Oh, and got him. Nah. He never even attempted. He never even attempted to land a shot like that on AJ because he never tried to really close the gap. He was just trying to use the jab and then lunge in with the right hand. He was lunging in. You're not going to do it like that. Mark, sit down on those punches. You see? He never really sat down on them when he was fighting AJ. Not once. It was more like hard arm punches. The ones that he caught him with, it was like arm punches. 27, BFB, and that jab he thought rocked AJ was a push jab. Come on. Come on, my people. You see, y'all know what y'all talking about. You guys know what you talking about. You guys know what you witnessed. You're not going to fall for that bullshit that, yo, he went 6 rounds with a world champion. Huh? Yo, in my eyes, he went 2 rounds with a world champion. Round number 5 and round number 6. If he would have started the fight, like fighting for real, he would have got clipped and stopped in the first, maybe the second round. At best. Brascarol, AJ and pro fighter conditioning is next level. I mean, I'm just looking at it like, how the hell you think, Jake Paul, that you're going to take a world championship caliber fighter and you're gonna tire him out, run him out of gas in an 8-rounder. That math ain't adding up. This guy been in the ring for 12 rounds. How you think, like, there's no championship rounds, bro. It's 8 rounds. You think you're gonna tire him out in that? That's delusional. And it's what I told you, my peoples. If anything, what this fight should teach people is that you don't put lower level guys with world championship caliber fighters. You don't do that. You could get tragic results. You could get real bad outcome off of this. Just look at it. This guy ended up in a hospital with a horrible fracture, eating his turkey through a straw for Christmas. You know how nasty liquefied turkey got to taste? 27 BMV. My opinion, if Jake would have took Mike Tyson's stance and stayed on the inside, he would have had a better chance. Some guy got what he deserved. No, so 27 BMV, I think that if he would have stayed on the inside, he would have landed better punches. He would have landed bigger punches. But ultimately, he was going to get knocked out anyway. And he was going to get knocked out faster. So what he did look like a goofball rolling around the floor and everything. But he did enough to last 6 rounds and have people praising him for it. Which, by the way, I said that before the fight. Before the fight, I said after the fight, people are going to say, yo, he did it with a champion. You got to give it to him. And we're seeing it right now. Some guy would be more fitting to see him fight Andre Ward. To be honest, that would be more fitting. But I only say more fitting, and I think you too, because Andre Ward is a smaller guy, not as big as AJ. But at the end of the day, it's not fitting to see Jake Paul fight with any championship caliber fighter because they all going to destroy him. They all going to beat him up. His ego is going to go like under the ground if he keeps fighting top level guys, because it's going to be beatdown after beatdown after beatdown. And let me tell you something. All money is not good money, my peoples. All money is not good money. What if he get a $90 million payday, $100 million, another $100 million payday, and then he punch drunk and retarded, can't even talk right? Can't even talk, can't even walk, sitting in a wheelchair, something crazy like that, then that money's not going to mean shit, right? You would give all that money back just to get your health. 27 BMV. Whether you have to give Logan props too, because he went rounds with Floyd. But that's different because that was an exhibition, so there was going to be no winner, no loser. And he looked like a total goofball out there, bro. You see Logan? He looked like a goofball out there throwing punches at Floyd, bro. I know y'all remember, he ran to Floyd and right away started octopus wilding on Floyd. Craig, I would respect it if he came into the fight humble. But he came in talking like he does and got what he got. Bro, I was calling the fight live, and the same night, a lot of people hit me up telling me, yo, Jay, I felt a sense of satisfaction when I watched him get knocked out. He talked all that talk about what he was going to do to AJ. Look at him now. So I understand that, because Jake Paul is a troll. He a professional troll. And what he does is say things to touch your emotions, to get you upset. That's why he says he's the best boxer out and the best one out. The best one in the game, and compare himself to the greatest fighters of all time and everything. Because he knows that it's going to upset people. But when it's going to upset you, it's also going to make you watch. And it's also going to make you hope that he's going to get knocked out. And a lot of people wanted to see him get knocked out. And that's what happened. There you have it. My peoples, I'm about to end this special edition Christmas episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Damn, yo, y'all didn't even help me get to 50 likes. Over 2 hours of giving you this healthy dosage of sweet science and I couldn't get to 50 likes. But it don't matter because each and every one of you decided to tune in this morning. I really appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. And of course, my peoples, look, I'm going to share the link to Box Center 2.0. Subscribe to Box Center 2.0, my peoples, because I'm giving you some fire content on this channel. Goofiest of the oofiest only goes live on Box Center 2.0. You got to catch the show. And if you haven't seen it, you can actually call in on Goofiest of the oofiest and give your own opinion, your own prediction. Or maybe you just want to argue with me. Maybe you just want to trash talk. But on Goofiest of the oofiest, Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, the line is always open. So come on, my peoples, let's do it. There you go, my people. That's the link right there to Box Center 2.0. Bam. Pinned in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to Box Center 2.0 for that exclusive content, my peoples. I promise you. Look, there's some videos up there right now. Check out the videos that's on Box Center 2.0 right now so you can see what I mean. It's all exclusive content, VIP shit going on over there. Goofiest stuff, the oofiest is going on over there. But again, man, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. You know, it's Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody. Enjoy your Christmas. Let me give you guys the J. Stradamus words of the day. I know you guys heard the phrase, damn, what's that phrase? Hold on. Yes. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. I know you heard that phrase. Pretty good one. When we hear that phrase, we think about us, like me keeping my friends close, but keeping my enemies closer. Right? But I want you guys to think about this. There's somebody out there who you think that's your friend, and you're actually the enemy that they're keeping closer. So in your mind, this is my guy. That's my G right here. But in their mind, it's my enemy right here. I got to keep him close. I got to act like I'm his friend. So just remember that. That phrase goes both ways. When we hear it, keep your friends closer, keep your friends close and your enemies closer, we think it's us. But don't forget that you also the enemy that somebody's keeping closer, and you think that's your friend. That in mind, my peoples. So once again, Merry Christmas to everybody. Enjoy your holidays. Don't get too drunk. Don't get too crazy. Enjoy your time with your family. Tomorrow, my peoples, Boxing for Breakfast is going to go live at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Tune in. Y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to talk boxing. We're going to make some prediction. We're going to do what we do. One love to everybody, my peoples. I'm about to get the hell out of here. Now it's time for me to spend time with my family. I spend time with my Box Center family. There you have it, my peoples. Y'all got your little quality time. Got your quality time. I got to do it with my family. I suggest you do it with yours, because there's nothing in this life that is more important than family. God bless every one of you. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Bam. Peace out, y'all.